my dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy.
My dear Aditya Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me.
Gaura's love ambiguity is shown by Gadadhar Pandit, Sridash Pandit, and Haridaksha. Thakur are the ocean of mercy.
Six. Usually we don't sing before. Oh yes, sorry. I'm confusing them. O Sarup Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya. O six Goswamis, O Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami. O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, Narottam Das also prays for your mercy.
O Srinivas Acharya, successor to the six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More.
Roma Vinate Doyalu Dagata Samsare.
Toma Vinate Doyalu Jagata Samsare.
Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara.
Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara.
Mosama Patita Prabhu Napaive Ara.
Mosama Patita Prabhu Napaive Ara.
Mahaprabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi.
Mahaprabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi.
Kripa Balokana Koro Ami Boro Dukhi.
Kripa Balokana Karo Ami Varadukhi.
Doya Koro Sita Pati Advaita Gosai.
Daya Karo Sikapati Aida Gosai.
Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai.
Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai.
Asarupanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Asarupanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Bhata Juga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha.
Bhadra Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokanatha.
Doya Koro Shri
Jaya Guru Shri Acharya Guru Srinivasa
Ramachandra Sangha Mage Narottama Dasa
Ramachandra Sanghamage Narottama Dasa
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Goya Guru More Tomadinaki Doyalu Dagata Samsare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya 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 Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jai Shri Shri Panchatantra ki
Jai.
Shri Gaurnitai ki
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Shri Shri Radha Parishishwara Mandir ki
Jai.
English, I guess English.
Anglais, français.
Anglais, français.
Anglais.
Anglais?
Ah,
Tu peux pas français?
si, Garland. Amazing.
Oh,
So today we are continuing to discuss about Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. We are reading from chapter 11, verse 32. And we will discuss the glories of Mahesh Pandit. Can someone bring me the C.C. Adilila, the book, if possible? Very kind. Chapter 11. 32.
You need some water?
Maybe yes. Thank you. So we say the verse together. Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandita Brajer Udar Gopal.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara. You show the Bengali also.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme
Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandit. Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala. Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala. Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer
Udara Gopala. Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala. Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala. Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala. Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala. Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala.
Mahesh Pandit Brajer Udara Gopala. Dhaka Vaje Nrityakare Preme Matoyala. Thank you so much for participating. So, word for word. Mahesh Pandita.
Mahesh Pandit.
Of the name Mahesh Pandita. Brajera. Of Vrindavan.
Of Vrindavan.
Udara.
Udara.
Very liberal.
Very liberal.
Gopala.
Gopal.
Cowherd boy.
Coward boy.
Dhaka Vadye,
Bhagavati,
with the beating of a kettle drum.
with the beating of a kettle drum.
Nritya Kare,
Nitya Kare,
used to dance.
used to dance,
Preme,
praying
in love.
in love,
Matoyala,
material,
as if a madman.
as if a madman.
Translation. Mahesha Pandit, the seventh of the 12 Gopalas, was very liberal. In great love of Krishna, he danced to the beating of a kettle drum like a madman. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The village of Mahesh Pandit, which is known as Palapada, is situated in the district of Nadia, within a forest about 1 mile south of the Chakadaha railway station. The Ganges flow nearby. It is said that formerly Mahesh Pandit lived on the eastern side of Jirat in the village known as Masipura or Yashipura. And when Masipura merged in the riverbed of the Ganges, the deities there were brought to Palapada, which is situated in the midst of various villages such as Belidanga, Beligrama, Sukasagara, Chandude, and Manasapota. There are about 14 villages, and the entire neighborhood is known as Panchanagara Paragana. It is mentioned that Mahesh Pandit joined the festival performed by Sri we are here. Oops. Somewhere here. It is mentioned that Mahesh Pandit joined the festival performed by Sri Nityananda Prabhu at Panihati. Narottam Das Thakur also joined in the festival, and Mahesh Pandit saw him on that occasion. In the temple of Mahesh Pandit, there are deities of Gaur Nityananda, Sri Gopinath, Sri Madan Mohan, and Radha Govinda, as well as Shalagram Shila. The verse again. Mahesh Pandit, the seventh of the 12 Gopalas, was very liberal. In great love of Krishna, he danced to the beating of a kettle drum like a madman. Om Adhyana Timidandasya Dhananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagradatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagada Radita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutedevi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavali Paschatya Deshatarine. Can someone take the Thank you so much. So, we are in this section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita discussing the sub-branches of Lord Nityananda. In the Chaitanya tree of Lord Chaitanya, there are two main branches. Can someone remember? What are the two main branches of this Chaitanya tree?
Nityananda branch and Advaita.
Advaita branch. Yes, thank you. Nityananda and Advaita. And so now we are discussing the branches of Lord Nityananda. You may know that Lord Nityananda is considered an Avaduta. So we'll discuss this a bit later, what it means for us. How can we understand somehow a little bit about this Avaduta character of Lord Nityananda? Even though by definition Avaduta means we cannot really understand in our state because we are conditioned by the gunas, and Avaduta means above this influence of the gunas. So before that, I request your benedictions to say whatever is in line with our Guru Parampara and can help us to purify further and be more dedicated in our service. And I forgot to glorify the Lordships. Shri Shri Radha Parishishvara ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Supada Maharani ki Jai. Shri Shri Nitai Sachisuta ki Jai. So opulent today. You may know also that yesterday, because it was Ekadashi, and for 5 days, is a special festival. Not exactly. Another one I was thinking about. This is also the case, Vishnu Panchaka. But it's connected with Tulasi Devi. Actually, the Vivaha Yaga between Tulasi Devi and Shalagram Shila is happening next Wednesday. But the festivities of the wedding ceremony started yesterday on the Ekadashi day. You know, as a wedding, it lasts usually a few days, especially in our tradition. So this was started yesterday, and we'll discuss a bit because it is mentioned about Shalagram Shila at the end. I thought it could be nice to remember the glories of Vrinda Devi also, and what happened to Lord Vishnu. So, yeah, we are discussing the branches of Lord Nityananda, and we can consider also that Krishna is never alone, because I'm mentioning this because Lord Nityananda's associates, as you can read in the verse, they are all Gopals here. The 12 Gopalas that are mentioned are like the Ashtasakis for the Gopis, the main Gopals. Doesn't mean there are not other ones. But the 12 main Gopalas have a particular significance and are very close associates of the Lord. And so, it is mentioned that the Lord is never alone. And like us in this material world, we can actually sometimes feel very alone, isolated. No? Actually, we also are never alone. The Lord is inside, He's in our heart, He's everywhere around us, but we can't access Him. That is our suffering, because we are contaminated, our senses are contaminated, we don't see the Lord all around us, even though He is omnipresent and He's within the heart. And even some countries, I heard that UK back then had a ministry for loneliness. They recognized officially the loneliness as a big problem of society, and they had a full ministry for that, for dealing with this. And we see in the French government also they work for the loneliness of elder people and this and that. They try to create material solutions to this problem. Forgetting that actually the real solution can only be spiritual to fill the gap in our heart. So this is good to remember that Krishna himself was never alone, always accompanied with his associates. And society created social media to help us in that regard. That was the promise of social media, of internet, that it will help to connect more and more people together, that even if you are in this country and you are separated by this person that is living in another country. And please, devotees, try to make space for commerce. Yeah. Please come inside if you can. Have the darshan of their wonderful lordships. Come inside the room. You are most welcome. Don't be shy. There is a lot of space here. Yeah, we created social media in that hope. I mean, I didn't participate in that, but some people worked on this to fill the gap. But what actually was supposed to help created a worse situation. Now we are in a world living with a lot of social media. We have our phones. We are permanently connected with the world. Even we can access very quickly on internet to anyone we don't know yet. But by one or two clicks we can connect for just becoming friends on Facebook, or we can go in more loving relationships, find so-called lover instantly, or engage in other activities just by social media to try to connect with people, artificially at least. And to some extent this works, but then we can question what is the depth of this relationship. Yeah, what does it mean to be a friend on Facebook? It means you see my picture, I see your pictures, we say hello, now we are friends, and so what? What does it bring? We can wonder about this. What is the point of all these relationships? We may have 5,000 friends on Facebook and this and that, but you know, how much time we spend with them, how much time we spend to discuss, interact, and actually how much we connect it with our spiritual life. You know, even as devotees, sometimes we may think, okay, for the sake of preaching, I will do and try to connect and preach them, but factually, how does it really work? We add the people, but then do we really cultivate them? Are we able to cultivate 5,000 contacts like this? Individually, personally? We may wonder about that. And actually the biggest problem that came along with this is that there is a big tragedy that is reinforced thanks to social media, and it's actually more and more access to pornography. And this is a very big problem of society. So instead of connecting people, it put us into more and more illusion that we can enjoy by ourselves and without any need to take any commitments in a married life or these kind of things. And it's very terrible. So these material solutions that are conceived, imagined, can never solve our deep longing for connection. This connection with Krishna cannot be replaced by anything else. And it can create the worse, even worse effects. Intention, you know, are always somehow good. There's a good thought, okay, it will create this, but we hardly think about the drawbacks. We hardly see people creating this kind of initiative out of helping people spiritually, but rather as a means to earn more money, to be more powerful, more potent, more glorious. Oh, I created internet, look, today it's all the world uses this. I'm a genius, you know, it's out of false ego platform. So fortunately, we were in touch by the mercy of devotees with this wonderful movement of Lord Chaitanya, and we can definitely feel more and more the presence of the Lord in our life. So this associates, and now if we come to Lord Nityananda, they are helping the Lord in Krishna Lila to make the arrangements of Krishna with the gopis also. Don't think that Gopals don't participate in that. They also help because what do they want? They want only the pleasure of Krishna. So they know what pleases Krishna. And they're also making this arrangement. So Lord Nityananda is considered an avaduta. It is mentioned that he's Nityananda avaduta. So an avaduta, as I mentioned, is should not be imitated because it's a very special personality. This avaduta means a bit extravagant character, and we cannot really understand the behavior of this character with our mundane perception. Because avaduta means he is above the influence of the gunas and he is not acting according to varnashram system. We cannot say to which varna or ashram he is belonging to, you know. And they act out of this platform of varnashram. That's why their behavior in society is usually not understood, you know, inconceivable. Thank you. We know that Lord Nityananda was sometimes wear very opulent jewelries with him. Sometimes he was going naked in society, isn't it? It's very bewildering, and we wonder, but how can this person be the Lord? How can the Lord do that? Why? You know. And this is indeed something inconceivable for our mundane perception. So the only way for us to one day grasp a little more about this is to follow the footsteps of our Guru Parampara, accept the Lord as He is, try not to imitate, and follow the instructions of our Guru Param to purify our heart and to basically engage in the mission that is most relevant for us today, especially in this Kali Yuga age, which is the Sankirtan Yaga, the movement of Lord Chaitanya. And he brought this movement for us to get closer to Krishna and to actually ourselves also participate in helping Radha Krishna in their dealings, in their pastimes, in their loving affairs. Not directly, of course, but to be the servant of the servants. And every morning in the Gurvashtakam, we receive this verse. Nikunja yuno natikeriti yayali bilyum tiratakshaniya tatratida dati valabhasya ande guru shri charanavinda. This verse depicts actually that the spiritual master, because this Gurvashtaka prayer glorifies the spiritual master in 8 shlokas. This 6th verse is actually mentioning that the spiritual master is expert in assisting in the arrangements for the Lord, for Radha Krishna loving affairs. So ourselves, we can just hope to be also later, of course, but helpful in this regard to the spiritual master. Not that we'll become personal direct assistant, right? But assistants of the assistant, so servant of the servant of the servant. That's the only hope. And then Devamrita Maharaj, when talking about this verse, he mentioned that back then there was something in the air. I think he mentioned when he was in Los Angeles or something like. So what he was saying that actually participating to the Sankirtan. So definitely we should understand by this process that if we want to please Krishna, we please Radharani. If we want to please Radharani, we please Lord Chaitanya. So to please Lord Chaitanya, what can we do? Please Lord Nityananda, that's for sure. And how to please Lord Nityananda? Guru Parampara, okay? So the process is like this if we talk about personalities. Now, if we talk about action, what type of service can we do to please Lord Chaitanya? Yeah, Sankirtan. Christopher, you had something to
Yeah.
add?
Everything within ISKCON. With ISKCON.
Yeah. And this Sankirtan movement is the way, actually, is our door to access this pastime in Krishna Lila, to connect with the spiritual world. So let's be confident that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us the highest chance, the highest boon possible for Kali Yuga people that we are. That's why he's called the most magnanimous incarnation. And actually, he is the Lord himself, you know. And so, Namo Mahavadanyaya, Krishna Prema Pradayate, Krishna Krishna Chaitanya, Namne Goradvishe Namaha, the most magnanimous incarnation, because he gave us the highest jewel for the lowest people of his age. We can all participate to this mission and get the highest benediction, the Sankirtan movement. And this is inconceivable also, to some extent, how merciful he is, and how even more merciful is also Srila Prabhupada, that he came to the West to give us this direct contact, engage us, and still engages us in this mission, in ISKCON mission toward the whole world, and give a chance not only to us but to everyone to connect. Not only humans, but any living entity in this world can benefit, providing that we understand what is our duty towards this Jiva. So in that connection, yeah, let's remember that this Sankirtan mission is also part of our sadhana. Consider how we can engage ourselves in this mission, be it directly or indirectly. Doesn't mean that because you stay in temple you are not engaged in the mission. You know, what is the name of this book distributor famous in US?
Mozart.
Also, but started with N. Navin Niradhakavi. Yeah, he mentioned now because he gave a training online for book distributors to be inspired in book distribution, and the first thing he said is that actually, if you look at this course somehow, if you want to know more about book distribution, it means that anyway we are all in Sankirtan mission, directly or indirectly. So yeah, this is a very inclusive movement. Now, if we talk about these arrangements, I wanted to make a connection with Tulasi Devi, because she is definitely expert in arranging the dealings of Radha Krishna in the spiritual world. She has a very important role in making all the arrangement, all the environment favorable for their pastimes, for their divine pastimes. And there are wonderful story connecting with the Vivaha Yaga that we'll be celebrating next week. That Tulasi Devi, she had to come to the material plane. From what I heard, I didn't find the Shastric reference yet. I heard it from Vasumati Manjari, who heard it from a spiritual master. So I can just repeat this part that I heard of one day that she was making some arrangements, and there was a point where she had personal association with Krishna, with Lord Krishna, and Radharani was not happy with that, and she somehow cursed her to come to material plane. But it was also like every pastime happening, ultimately the supreme cause is Lord Krishna, is Sarvakarana Karana. And it was also for the Lord a desire that we can also have her association here. And she first came in this world long time ago as the daughter of King Kedera. And back then she used to perform 60,000 years of austerities. And this place actually was, Vrindavan. And that's why, after that, Lord Vishnu, being very much satisfied with her austerities, the 60,000 years, we may think, but ourselves, maximum we can do maybe not even 100, because we lost few years before that, but 60 minutes austerities we can do maybe. So now we're talking about 60,000 years, and Lord Vishnu came. Okay, patience, yeah. And he granted this boon that every austerity performed in Vrindavan will be very highly benefiting those who are in Vrindavan. Performing austerities will be highly benefited. So this is one of the reasons why to go in Vrindavan is so potent also. Potent in the positive sense that everything we can do there is very potent. But also our offenses can be on the reverse, very potent and very damageable. So having the presence of Tulasi Devi in the temple is also manifesting, Vrindavan is very connecting us. That's why in all temple of ISKCON there is this process of worshipping Tulasi Devi, and it's very highly beneficial and such an important service for devotees. So it's very difficult service actually, from what I could notice, to organize the service, to take care. She's very personal and needs a lot of attention and delicate care. So it requires a qualification. Not everyone can delicately take care of Tulasi, of her leaves, and observe how she's sick or not, and put the just amount of water, this and that. So it's a very special care that she needs. It's not an ordinary plant. And another time after that, she came, so not this time, first time was Vrinda Devi, and now it's as Tulasi Devi. And as Tulasi Devi, she came as the daughter of King Kulashvasya. Do you remember something? And but most importantly here, she also was married to Jalandhara demon. And this Jalandhara demon, being her husband, was very powerful demon. So powerful that that sometimes demons are overcoming the devas. And he was such a demon. And because of the chastity of his wife, he was protected. And once she gave him a garland, and for the moment he kept this garland, he was protected. And this garland was connected with the chastity of Tulasi Devi. And one day, because the demigods were so worried about the situation, they came to inquire what can be done. So they came at some point to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu had to make an arrangement to somehow get rid of this demon, because he comes to protect his devotees. So how can he disturb so much? If they are so anxious, they come to me, I have to do something. So difficult to fight against chastity. So the Lord had to manifest as the husband of Tulasi Devi. And so he took the form of Jalandhara demon. And by taking this form, then Tulasi Devi welcomed him, greeted him, and at this right moment, she lost her chastity. And so it is mentioned that the garland of the husband, of Jalandhara demon, faded on the spot. And at this moment, even though before that Shiva himself could not defeat him, then by this simple, not this simple, but at this right moment, the demigods understood that they could get rid of him, and so they beheaded him. And by beheading him, the head was still alive somehow and came to the place where Tulasi Devi was. And she understood that actually it was not her husband in front of her. He had time to announce it to Tulasi Devi. And she understood that, yeah, actually, who is in front of me then, if it's not you? And then she understood after a while that it was Lord Vishnu in front of her. And she was so disappointed, so frustrated, so unhappy with that. And that she had been cheated. You know, it's not pleasant to be cheated. And what happens, as a transcendental pastime, we should understand that, you know, Tulasi Devi is not an ordinary character. She will not be bewildered by Maya, but by Yoga Maya. Not Mahamaya, but Yoga Maya, which is a transcendental illusion. And this situation brought to the situation that she cursed Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu knew, I will be cursed, but I had to do it. And what was the curse? It became a stone. And that's the transcendental reason explaining why in temples, why in the Gandaki river we can find this Shaligram Shila. Shaligram Shila that we have here on the altar, you know, under the feet of Radhapali Shishvara. There is a form of the Lord, Shaligram Shila, that devotees in the temple worship every day as the Supreme Lord himself. So it's a direct manifestation of the Lord. In the deities that we see around, it's not exactly the same. The presence of the Lord is invoked, but the Shalagram Shila, it is the Lord himself, directly present. You don't somehow need to invoke his presence. He's already there in the Shalagram Shila. So why the Lord manifested like this? His desire was also not to be separated with Tulasi Devi. And when he was cursed like this, he also cursed her in return. In two ways. One way is that she took the form of this Gandaki river, so that they will never be separated. And he said, I will always be within you. So Shalagram Shila, we can only find them in this Gandaki river, representing Tulasi Maharani. So they are always together. And she also took the form of the Tulasi plant. And so that's why in the worship of the deities it's so important. And for the Lord never to be separated with Tulasi Devi, there is now this rule in our deity worship that is mentioned that we should put Tulasi leaves on each preparation so that the Lord can accept our offering. So this Tulasi has such a power, such transcendental impact on our devotional life. That's why also every day in the temple the devotees circumambulate Tulasi Devi. You know, we recite while circumambulating Yanika Nita Papa Nivama Atika Nita. Why is that? What is the meaning for our spiritual life? What is the meaning for us? Why do we do that?
We turn around all the sinful.
Yes.
Tomb.
Yes. Yeah. We just somehow get rid of our sins. You know, even the high sin of killing a Brahmana, you know, which is considered a very high sin. So even these high sins can be taken away by Tulasi Maharani. And as you can see, we do it every day. Because as devotees, we have to accept that every day we commit sins to this stage. Don't think that we don't commit sins. Yeah, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm living in the temple, I'm honoring prasadam 3 times a day, and I honor only prasadam, I'm in association with devotees. Don't think you still don't commit sin. Sin means we are doing something that goes against the will of the Lord. So are we always doing everything for the sake of the Lord, for pleasing Him, 100% of the time? No. So definitely it's important to worship Tulasi Devi in our life, to consider the spiritual significance of this appearance. And connected with that, we also dance in front of Tulasi Devi, and because this verse mentioned about Mahesh Pandit and the fact of dancing, let's remember that Prabhupada wanted us not to be professional dancers. Thanks to the lessons that we got in Tai Sachi Sutta Kirtanya, we were coming about the book Kirtan Standards, and inside there are many references of Prabhupada or other ISKCON gurus mentioning about how to play instruments, sing, perform kirtans, dance in a proper way. How Prabhupada wanted us to dance. If you see in the Ratha Yatra when Srila Prabhupada dances, he's not dancing like a crazy material person, you know. He's dancing very elegantly, very beautifully, devotionally for the Lord, raising up his hands, his arms. And ourselves also, we are not asked to be professional dancers, but just to, like the Panchatattva dance, with raised arms and to go in front and back, front and back. Srila Prabhupada mentioned also that the best dance is also the Swami steps, you know. This we go on this left and we go on the right. It's very simple, but it is most effective. And we can also achieve this ecstasy not only by dancing crazy. Even though once Devamita Maharaj shared that Prabhupada accepted both, that we can sing, we can dance in this way, following the Panchatattva mantra, but it can also be at some point be out of, you know, the norm and can work. Then it can be accepted, but we should not indulge too much in that. You know, it should be naturally coming. We should not force it ourselves. You know, we can, you know, just consider, especially in Mangalarati, the point is not to be like a disco party, but it should come naturally. You know, along with the mridanga. You know, it comes naturally. You don't need to force yourself. And this is the best way to please the Lord, to please Srila Prabhupada by our dancing. Yeah, time is running. Sorry for that. 8:57. I will give you a spot to share some compliments, questions, corrections, and please, if you have anything to share, it's your time. Otherwise, I will find something else. One thing I can mention, why do we read about all these details about the place? So precisely depicted, no? Why do we need all these details?
So
I
that
did not
we
go
can
into
visit
this.
them. So that we can visit these
Yeah,
places.
so we can visit them, for sure. And why we don't have sometimes so much details about Krishna's places?
With time it disappears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually to bring us more faith in the fact that it's, you know, historically, it's 500 years ago. So it really existed, and these places we can still go to these places and find, you know, the exact situation that is depicted for most of the cases. So it just arises our faith that, yeah, all these associates were present, you know, and because it's the Guru Parampara, and Srila Prabhupada shares his bhava in the scriptures, shares his own faith. Faith is an energy, and this energy flows toward the Shastras, and especially with the commentaries of the Acharyas, and come in our heart. So when we understand that these details are here for us, to find, of course, the places, to get the, connected with the pastime of these places. It diminish this, it pierces this bubble of doubt in our life. This doubt is considered as a bubble in the Shastra. This bubble, we should, not exactly bubble, what is the name? Anyway, something like that, a balloon that we should pierce. Because if we don't pierce this doubt, this balloon doubt, what will happen? It will continue to grow. So whenever we have a doubt, we are not sure of a question, we should always inquire about it to pierce this doubt from authority. Doesn't mean that we should always address our spiritual master for doubts. Sometimes we can find shelter with senior devotees, to whom we trust, but our heart needs to be revealed to devotees whom we trust. And if they cannot help us, then of course we can go to spiritual master. So this is what came to my mind when reading about this pastime. If you don't have Mataji, yes, Hare Krishna.
You just mentioned that sometimes the devil spirits overpower God.
Yes.
Why is that so?
Overpower God?
Yeah.
And so
And in some situations maybe.
Yeah. I was mentioning about demigods. They overpower demigods. We see in the history, like many pastimes, like with Hiranyakashipu, who was a very great demon who overtook power towards the demigods. But they can never actually overpower God. Can never happen. The Lord, for the sake of pastimes, can pretend to be overcome, like he did when he manifested, like Varahadev incarnation, the boar incarnation. There was a terrible fight between Varahadev and the brother of Hiranyakashipu, whose name is Hiranyaksha. And he was a terrible demon, and he was coming with a mace to the Lord, and he was literally beating the Lord. Not the Lord cannot fight him. And the end of the story shows it, by the way. But during the fight, the Lord, took it and somehow manifested some being touched, being bleeding. Like sometimes a cat plays with a little mouth. He does like this so that the mouse is still living and plays with the cat. So he was intensifying the desire for his devotees to have this, feeling, oh my Lord, what happens? Please don't do that. The love manifests more. On the other side, why the Lord also have this type of fight with his, with these demons? Sometimes these demons, they are devotees. Most of the time, they are devotees of the Lord. Hiranyaksha was none other than Jai Vijay, the doorkeepers of the Vaikuntha planets, where the Lord resides. And due to some pastimes, they offended the Kumaras, they were cursed, but this curse was all arranged for the Lord to have a fight with his devotee, because this is one of the relationships the Lord wants to have with his devotees, and the devotees wants to have also with the Lord. This chivalry rasa is one of the... Sorry?
Virya rasa.
Virya rasa, thank you. This Virya rasa is one of the 12 rasas that the Lord can experiment with us, that we can experiment with the Lord, sorry. And so, for this to manifest, cannot happen in Vaikuntha, because the Lord is with awe and reverence, is fully opulent. So the Lord has to come with his devotee on another plane to manifest these pastimes. There should be a proper arrangement for that. And this was the situation. So the Lord then made the arrangements, and it seems that this devotee became a demon, and now he's a demon. But no, whenever the pastime is finished, this devotee plays the perfect demon for the pleasure of the Lord, and fight with the Lord for his pleasure, the pleasure of the Lord. So This is why it's sometimes bewildering, but the Shastras like Srimad Bhagavatam explain this in details with Prabhupada's commentaries. So never the demons can overcome God.
But I've heard from some spiritual people that in the future there will only be demons and then God will manifest and kill all of them and it will be the end of the world.
Yeah. So it's true that the more it goes, the less in Kali Yuga there is people with divine qualities. And indeed, the Lord, in the form of Kalki Avatar, will have to come to destroy all these demons. And there will be end of this material world. And it is said that since Kali Yuga started, this Kali Yuga age lasts 432,000 years. After, there is what we call a destruction, pralaya. And this pralaya means the end of this material world. But it doesn't mean that the material world will not exist anymore. There is still, it will manifest again. And those who still have this material desires tendency within the heart will have to come back to the material world. So it will be destroyed and recreated.
But then if you say that God protects the devotees,
Yes.
why this situation also will manifest? I mean, there are devotees even
Yes.
today,
Yes.
but then you mean going forward there won't be devotees?
Sorry?
You mean going forward there won't be any devotees left?
The more it goes, the less there will be spiritually inclined people. And indeed, the Lord will protect those who are surrendered to Him. But this material world is also a manifestation of the Lord's mercy and love towards us. Why? Because being conditioned means that we are accepted to be independently happy, meaning to be happy without God. That's why we come and stay here. Till we have this tendency of being independently happy from God, you know, then the Lord will allow us because He loves us. He doesn't want us to be in this situation because He knows that we will be happy with Him associating in the spiritual world. But because we manifested this desire, then we had to come here. And all these arrangements, you know, with destruction, the karma, the law of karma is also His mercy. So that as a matter of education, we understand that our place is not here in the material world. Understanding that, yes, when we do bad action, there is bad reaction. It's a matter of education. What is the education? To reform our heart. There is a prayer of Bhaktivinoda Thakur saying, I recite it in the morning as a sequence, and so if I don't start with the beginning, I cannot remember it directly. But saying that we are here to reform our tendency to enjoy separately from God. And this world is considered a prison house. We are in a prison house in this material world. But this prison house, we chose to be inside by our tendency and cultivating this. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord Krishna Himself manifested through the Shastras. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu manifested the Sankirtan movement so that we can find the exit of this material world. That is the situation. So yes, demons are there, but we can, following Srila Prabhupada's instructions, develop again divine qualities to some extent, and go back to the spiritual world at some point of time. I hope it satisfies your heart for now, to some extent.
Yeah,
To some extent. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Jai